This is VOA News, reporting by remote. I'm Joe Ramsey. Israel and Hamas both claimed victory on Friday after their forces ended 11 days of fighting, but humanitarian officials warn the damage to Gaza will take years to rebuild. Hundreds are dead, mostly Palestinians, many children, and thousands have been wounded. World Health Organization spokeswoman Margaret Harris says Gaza's health facilities are in danger of being overwhelmed because of the number of injuries. The Israel-Hamas hostilities were set off on May 10th, in part by Israeli police raids at the Al-Aqsa Mosque, clashing with Palestinians during the Muslim holy month of Ramadan. Thousands gathered there again for Friday prayers, with many demonstrating in support of Gaza. Israeli police fired stun grenades towards demonstrators who threw rocks and petrol bombs at officers, and medics said some 20 Palestinians were wounded. The confrontations died down within about an hour, but civilians on both sides of the Gaza border are skeptical about the chances for peace. U.S. President Joe Biden on Friday pledged to help organize efforts to rebuild Gaza and said creating a Palestinian state alongside Israel is the only answer to the conflict. Biden also says he had told the Israelis to stop intercommunal fighting in the flashpoint city of Jerusalem. He is stressing there is no shift in his commitment to the security of Israel and adds until the region unequivocally acknowledges Israel's existence, there'll be no peace. You can find more on these stories and the rest of the day's news at voanews.com. You can also follow us on the VOA mobile app. Voice of America again at voanews.com. This is VOA News. U.S. President Joe Biden and South Korean President Moon Jae-in on Friday expressed a desire to engage North Korea in diplomacy in trying to reduce tensions over Pyongyang's nuclear weapons and ballistic missile programs. At a joint White House news conference with Moon, Biden said he was willing to meet North Korean leader Kim Jong-un if Kim agreed to talk about Pyongyang's nuclear weapons program. North Korea thus far has rebuffed U.S. diplomacy since Biden took over from former President Donald Trump, who had 3 summits with Kim. Moon was the second foreign leader after Japan's prime minister to visit the White House since Biden took office in January, and Biden said their conversations amounted to talks between old friends, but the two leaders also discussed China and Taiwan. Moon said the United States and South Korea would combine capabilities to supply COVID-19 vaccines in the Indo-Pacific region. They also discussed how to tackle climate change. Nigeria's Air Force says its top-ranking Army commander, Lieutenant General Ibrahim Adahiri, and other officers were killed on Friday when their plane crashed in the country's north. He was just appointed by President Muhammad Buhari in January in a shakeup of the top military command to better fight surging violence and a more decade-long jihadist insurgency. The death comes after news Nigeria's Boko Haram jihadist leader Abu Bakr Shekau had been seriously wounded after clashes with fighters from a rival Islamic State allied faction. Nigeria's military has been battling an Islamist insurgency in the northeast since 2009, a conflict that has killed more than 40,000 and displaced around 2 million more. Cameroon government auditors allege ministries and state bodies misappropriated and mismanaged funds from a $338 million national coronavirus response plan, according to a purported leaked summary of their report shared widely online on Friday. The International Monetary Fund had given $382 million in emergency funds to Cameroon since the start of the pandemic, and said it was important for authorities to keep track of companies contracted as part of its COVID-19 response. An audit was commissioned by President Paul Biya in the use of the funds, but no findings have yet been made public. The 22-page leaked report appears to be by its Supreme Court's audit bench. It found government bodies awarded contracts on questionable grounds, falsified accounts, and caused losses of billions to the state by choosing a more expensive provider of COVID-19 tests, among other allegations. Reporting by remote, I'm Joe Ramsey, VOA News. This is VOA News. Reporting by remote, I'm Joe Ramsey. Lava from a volcanic eruption reached the airport of Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo's main city of Goma Sunday as thousands evacuated. Goma residents grabbed mattresses and other belongings as they recall the last eruption in 2002, which killed 250 people and left 120,000 homeless. As the red glow of one of the world's most active volcanoes painted the nighttime sky above the lakeside city of about 2 million, some fled east toward the frontier with neighboring Rwanda, while others escaped to the west. A volcano expert said Saturday new fractures opened, allowing the lava to flow southward toward Goma after initially flowing east towards Rwanda. He says it appears the lava is headed towards city center, but is difficult to forecast. Power is out across much of the area and phone lines are busy. The UN Security Council is welcoming the ceasefire between Israel and Gaza's Hamas rulers and calling for it to continue after 11 days of fighting left hundreds dead, mostly Palestinians, many women and children. A statement released Saturday was approved by all 15 members. It says the council mourns the loss of civilian lives resulting from the violence and stresses the immediate need for humanitarian assistance to the Palestinian civilian population, particularly in Gaza. The statement further said it was urgent to restore calm and reiterated the importance of achieving peace based on the vision of a region where two democratic states, Israel and Palestine, live side by side with secure and recognized borders. Thousands rallied Saturday night in the Israeli city of Tel Aviv calling for coexistence between Jews and Arabs. This is VOA News. A four-piece band of Italian rockers won the Eurovision Song Contest in the early hours of Sunday. The music festival was canceled last year amid the global pandemic, but the event in a Rotterdam arena with strict testing and hygiene protocols was seen as a step toward a post-COVID-19 return to live entertainment. The band Manskin's win was only Italy's third victory in the popular contest since 1990. It's Italy's first since 1990. Italy was the bookmakers' favorite, trailing Switzerland, France, and Malta after national juries delivered their votes, but were propelled to victory by votes from the viewing public. A crowd of about 3,500 fans who all tested negative for the coronavirus watched finalists perform live. France finished second and Switzerland third. A technical fault on Saturday left frustrated fans unable to access Glastonbury Festival's live stream concert at the famous farm site in southwest England after the coronavirus pandemic led to the blockbuster event's cancellation. Social media was filled with complaints at the start of the 5-hour virtual show, with many ticket holders unable to access a stream of the event after paying about $28. Organizers later set out a free link. Glastonbury had to cancel its 50th anniversary in 2020 after some 135,000 people had already bought tickets. Headliners were meant to include pop superstar Taylor Swift and Beatles icon Paul McCartney. Organizers had hoped to stage the event in 2021 but reversed course after England entered a third lockdown at the start of the year following a surge in infections, hospitalizations, and deaths. The girlfriend of a heavily armed Belgian soldier who's on the run called on him to make the story end as specialized forces continue hunting for him Saturday. Jurgen Konings, a 46-year-old, is on the federal anti-terror watch list and was seen early this week near the home of a person he had threatened. He's an expert marksman known for extreme right views and was still thought to be hiding in a vast nature park in northeastern Belgium, where over 400 soldiers and police officers have been looking for him for 4 straight days. The Belgian justice minister says the man disappeared Monday and hung around the residence of one of several people he had threatened before booby-trapping his own car with ammunition and 4 anti-tank missile launchers inside. And one of only 2 women on Sudan's ruling Sovereignty Council said on Saturday she had resigned, accusing the military-dominated transitional government of ignoring civilian voices. Find more on that at voanews.com. Reporting by remote, I'm Joe Ramsey, VOA News.